Hey everyone! This is Kara Rickman. I hope everyone's having a great day. I am so excited to be here with you guys again. That month just flew on by. I don't know about you, but it's gone by really, really fast. So, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Kara Rickman, and I'm the founder of Create Your Balance with Literacy. And I can't wait to show you all the fantastic, wonderful, fun, creative things that you guys can do for February. February is jam-packed full of great stuff that you can do. So if you are joining me today, would you please comment and tell us where you are from? Because it's always fun to see where all the teachers are from, especially if they're out of state or across the ocean and joining us from another country. And of course, I'm from Texas. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself in just a minute. So just for some housekeeping things, if my Wi-Fi is slow today during the webinar, just keep on, and my face might be frozen, but I'm still talking. So I promise I will come back on as soon as the streaming is better. So I live out in the country, so it might be kind of slow. But so you guys are already commenting. That's awesome. And also, if I do not get a chance to answer your questions during the webinar, I will try really, really hard to do that. I have my phone in front of me, so I'm scrolling through the comments. But if I miss your question, I will try really hard to answer your question after the webinar is over. So I'm really excited to get started. And then if you can comment on each other's questions, that would be awesome, and answer each other's questions. And then you guys have lots of great ideas and lots of suggestions as well. So I'm excited to hear about all the wonderful things that you guys do in your classroom for February. So let's get started, shall we? All right, so here's a little bit about me, and for those of you who are new joining us today, I have been teaching for 21 years in Boerne, Texas, and we're a little small rural community north of San Antonio, and I've been teaching third grade for 5 years, and now 16 years in first grade. I have been my team leader of my team for about 9 years now, and I have been the job embedded trainer in my district, and I've been very blessed to give trainings to my teachers about Writer's Workshop and Reader's Workshop and guided reading. And I have been on the ELA vertical team. I have been a curriculum writer, and I was Teacher of the Year in 2009 for my campus. And I have recently been a Seesaw Ambassador, which is really fun. And fun fact you probably don't know about me, but I'm also a musician, and I grew up in a very musical family, and I play the flute and the piano. And so I also teach private lessons at my house on Saturdays. So I'm a very busy teacher and wife and mommy and friend, and that keeps me busy, and I love my job and I love my life. So I'm happy to be here. And those of you who don't know, I have a TPT store. I am not asking you to follow my store, but if you are interested in learning more about balanced literacy, if your district is new to balanced literacy, and you're wanting to know more about Writer's Workshop and Reader's Workshop, guided reading, literacy centers, and thematic units, you're welcome to check out my store and follow me. And I'm going to be showcasing a lot of resources today that you guys might win if you're commenting. So I also have other platforms that you can follow me on. I have, of course, my Facebook group, and please invite your teacher friends to come and join our Facebook group if they haven't yet. I always love it when you guys invite your teacher friends. You can follow me on Pinterest, and if you just scroll over these links right here, it'll take you straight to it, and then you can check them out. I have an Instagram account, and I have a YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I have videos of me teaching Writer's Workshop and Reader's Workshop, a lot of center videos, and science investigations and all that stuff. So you're welcome to check that out too. And then I have my blog, Create Your Balance with Literacy. So this is very exciting, y'all. This is a series. If you watched my webinar last it was this month, in the beginning of this month, you have already seen the webinar about January Creative Fun. And so This is going to be a series, so every month I will be giving a new webinar of a preview of the following month. So if you enjoy this webinar and you get a lot of great ideas today, which I hope you do, then stay tuned for my next webinar later, and it will be in February. And these are the topics that I'm going to be showcasing for March. So for March, I'm going to talk about Gail Gibbons' author study. I love Gail Gibbons. Of course, St. Patrick's Day, and Texas symbols for those of Texas teachers, Texas animal research, farm, 120 days of school, spring and rainbows, measurement, reader's theater, which is always a fun one, and procedural writing. So my next webinar will be February 28th, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, so you guys can stay tuned for that too. So today we're going to talk about these things. So let's get this party started, okay? We're going to talk about what can I win. So the next slide is going to show you all the different resources. I have 4 different ones that you guys can choose from today. And I'm going to show you my digital resources that are available for those of you still teaching virtual. I'm going to show you my units for February, my mentor text organization, my unit organization, materials and supplies needed for February, my class schedule, Groundhog Day activities, and Rockwell author study. Some of you may not be familiar with Anne Rockwell, so I'm going to show you some things like for that. And then my weather activities for science, and then presidents and American symbols, famous inventors, Black History Month, and 100th day of school and money activities for math, and then some free digital TPT activities and some Seesaw activities for those of you who use Seesaw, and then my classroom newsletter templates that are editable. And of course, you can get a certificate of attendance today if you would like to get your hours for the webinar. So if you'll just message me at the end of the webinar is over with, and make sure that you tell me the correct name to put on the certificate, okay? And I will message that to you. So these are the resources that you guys could win today. The first one is my America thematic unit. This one is jam-packed full of great stuff about America. It has a lot of the American symbols. It has a research book. It has craftivities, it has mentor texts, suggestions, it has lesson plans, it has a lot of great stuff. This is my, it's Raining Cats and Dogs, my weather thematic unit, and again, this one's jam-packed full of great stuff with science activities, research books, mentor texts, lesson plans, interactive notebooks, you name it, it's there. This is my Money Madness math unit. This one also has great stuff for interactive notebooks for money. Financial literacy is also in this unit. It has lesson plans, daily lesson plans, and also it has templates for coins and money. It has math games in there that I'm going to share with you about that. And the last resource that you could win is the Voting and Elections with Grace and Duck and Teacher for President. So I know this one's a very popular one during election time, but you can still use it for President's Day as well. So you guys have 4 choices, and then whichever one you decide, then I will message it to you on Facebook. So if you're not familiar with my resources, a lot of them are digital, and so I'm slowly working my way up to having my whole store making everything digital. So I'm slowly working that way up. So if you look at my resource, this is for the one that's for the day it rained hearts. And you can see it has right here where the arrow is, it says TPT digital activity. At the bottom, it says this resource includes an interactive version of the PDF that students can complete from any device on TPT's new tool. So this is strictly for Google Classroom, but you can also convert these Google Slides to Seesaw as well. So if you are teaching virtual and you would like to check these out, then all you need to do is look at the TPT digital activity right here, and it shows you what it has. And then after you download it and purchase it, then you can go through, and I've already added the interactive Google Slides on top of the PDF for you. So it's already there, okay? So we're going to go ahead and select our first winner today. So my first winner is going to be... Oh my goodness, there's so many comments already. That's awesome. I am going to pick Vanessa de la Pena. Vanessa de la Pena. Good job. Awesome, Vanessa. Thanks for commenting. So, Vanessa, you can start thinking about which resource you would like, okay? All right, so I've got 2 more to give away, okay? All right. So these are the units that I put together for February, and these are what I've done in the past that has worked for me. And I know everyone has different curriculum and different scope and sequence all around the world. So your scope and sequence might be a little bit different. Your standards might be a little bit different. But since I teach in Texas, we have the TEKS and we have the TEKS resource system. And so I pulled these units from the TEKS resource system to showcase for you. So today I'm going to do 100th Day in Money. I'm going to do Anne Rockwell. We're going to talk about weather, Groundhog Day, Presidents, Valentine's, Inventors, Famous Inventors, and Black History Month. So these are just some things that popped into my mind whenever I was planning this for you guys. So one of the things that teachers always ask, not just in my group, but other Facebook groups as well, is how do you organize your classroom mentor texts? And that's always a big issue, and it is a lot of work. I will tell you, it's not something that you can do just in one day. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort on your part and patience. So what I have done is I have purchased these wonderful teal baskets. On the top pictures, you can see these top baskets are from Walmart, and I purchased them online, and I believe they come in a pack of 4. And so if you're interested in purchasing these baskets, I will send you the link. Just message me, and then I'll send it to you. They come in all different colors, y'all. They're in red, green, yellow, teal, black, whatever color you want. They're wonderful, and they're very sturdy, and you can put so many books in them. They're wonderful. I also made these labels for my thematic units. So I put labels on the tubs, and then I just sorted my books out. But these tubs are not for the kids. They are not for the students. They're just for me. So then if I'm in a time crunch and I forgot to get a book out, which all happens, I know that everybody has this problem. We get so wrapped up in paperwork or parents or, admin, and we forget to pull out the book that we need to read. So I can just walk back to my cubbies and I can grab the book out of my tub because it's already there, it's labeled, it's organized, and it helps me so much have a peace of mind that I can find my materials when I need them. So that's just what I do. And then at the bottom picture, you can see under my desk, these are my mentor texts that I use for Math Workshop, Reader's Workshop, and Writer's Workshop. So those are clear plastic tubs, again from Walmart, and so I just put dividers in there, and I divided the mentor text by skills. So for example, Writer's Workshop has adjectives, pronouns, prepositions, tiny moments. So I have it all organized. Same with math. I have geometry, fractions, time, measurement, money. So they're all organized, and I can find what I need really quickly. So again, the kids don't use those. Those are just for me. And then what I used to do in my library when I had more space is I love to showcase the holiday books in my library for the kids to use. And so this is just what I have done for February, and I put all my February books out, my 100th Day, my Groundhog Day books, so they're there for the kiddos to use them, because my library is also one of my centers, so they can go to the library to read. Okay, and this is how I organize my thematic units, and so I really like using the binder system, and I know a lot of you guys are going digital, and that's wonderful, but sometimes technology just isn't my friend. So I like to have a hard copy of my materials. I also like to have examples of my craftivities that I have the kids do. So I keep my own example in my binder as well. So inside the binder, I have dividers that have reading, writing, poems, math and science, and then art projects. And so that way I can organize my thematic units. And again, I can just grab the binder out. I can go through it and get up my masters, and I can make copies of what I need. But I have these cover pages that you could purchase if you'd like. You can just click on the picture here, and it'll take you straight to the resource. And I've got thematic binder covers for the whole year. So you're welcome to check that out. So that's just an easy way for me to organize my thematic units. And I have a big cabinet that I keep all my binders in. So this is my schedule that I have this year. Carla, I'm seeing your question. Do you have labels on the book bins? Yes, I have my labels on my book bins. I do have a resource that in my store that's a farmhouse resource. So I can link it to you. If you ask me later, I can link it to you, or I can do it here in the comments afterwards, and I can show you my labels. That's a great question. So I just want you to know that in the morning, I have 120 minutes for balanced literacy. And so that entails reader's workshop, writer's workshop, guided reading, focused poetry, word work, literacy centers. All of that is in the morning for 120 minutes. Then we break for lunch and recess. In the afternoon, I have math for 90 minutes. And then I have science and social studies for about 30 minutes. So how we do my science and social studies is that we flip-flop every couple of weeks. But we have really started to incorporate social studies within our reading block so that we can get those social studies TEKs in with reading. So, for example, in reading, if your TEK or your standard says that you are doing informational text with nonfiction text features and you want to pull in American symbols for social studies, that is an easy way to bridge those two together to teach cross-curricular. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of teaching social studies during reading time, which really helps a lot too. So that's just my schedule that I have for this year. I really like it. And then I have my camp time at the end of the day. So we have our conferences, parent conferences, and team meetings at the very end of the day, which is very nice. So I really like it. These are the materials and supplies you might need for February. If you are interested in doing some of these activities, you're going to need a lot of construction paper. If you want to do these art craftivities, my team and I use a lot of construction paper every week for different things, but having assorted colors is really nice. Having your writing templates handy that you need for your writing activities is nice. Having interactive notebooks. And a lot of these resources that I will show you has all the interactive notebooks that you'll ever need. All you have to do is just shrink them down to about 80%, so they'll fit inside the notebook. So I use my interactive notebooks for reading, and I call my reading my schema notebook. I have a math notebook, I have a social studies and science notebook, and I have a focus poetry notebook. So we have 4 notebooks that we work out of every week, sometimes every day. You have research booklets, which I'll share with you. I have research booklets about weather, and I have research booklets about American symbols. In my theme center, I'm going to share with you my President Theme Center, my Famous Inventors, weather, for different centers that you can have for the kiddos to have another opportunity to have hands-on experiences with those TEKs, with those standards. And have very great hands-on activities that you can put in your center. You also need this mentor text for these different units. You'll need mentor text for Ann Roswell if you decide to her. For weather, for Inventors, for Valentine's, Groundhog, 100th Day, Black Heroes, and then you're going to need book boxes and labels, like I showed you in the previous slide. You're going to need your anchor charts, which I'll share with you too. You need pocket charts. In your Authors Center, I'm going to share with you my Authors Center that I have for Ann Rockwell. And then my devices and headphones, if you use Seesaw daily, you're going to need those. iTouches, iPads, Chromebooks. We have a lot of different opportunities to have Chromebooks and iPads and iTouches in our school, so we're really blessed. And then, of course, your binders and your cover pages. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to share with you today is Groundhog Day. So Groundhog Day is on February the 2nd, as you guys probably already know that, but here's a lot of great mentor texts that I have used in the past, and I just want to share with you this first book right here is called It's Groundhog Day. This is the resource that I have in my store. So you are welcome to look at my resource, and if you click on the picture, it'll take you straight to my store. And it's also $1. It's still $1 deal. So if you want to snag it today when we're finished, go for it. These are 2 craftivities that I have in my store for the Groundhog Day. And then I put the bulletin board picture on here because I wanted you to see how they look on the bulletin board. They look super cute out in the hallway. So these groundhogs craftivities are in the resource. So they can write all about groundhogs and tell facts and information, or they can write, if I were a groundhog, I would wish that nobody would wake me up. So, and then this little guy down here in the green is not my resource, but I have used him before. I got him from Pinterest. So you can also click on him and it'll take you to the resource in Pinterest for you to check him out. And he's a freebie. So you guys can look at that. He's super cute as well. These are interactive notebooks that are in the Groundhog resource. Let's see, Dora, I'm looking at your your post. It says, can you post list of books you use monthly? Yes, the books that I use monthly, Dora, are on this slideshow. So you're welcome to look. I'm going to go through all the units, and I have lots of mentor texts that I posted here for you guys. So, great question. So this is a shadow investigation. If you live in a place where you have lots of sun and you want to take your kids outside and draw shadows on the sidewalk, this is what I do for that. And then they draw the different shadows in their boxes, and then they glue it into their science notebook. You can do an interactive notebook about Groundhog Day, and then you write adjectives about him around his face and around his body. And then you can do a planning page all about groundhogs if you want to write a story, which goes back to this craftivity right here, all about groundhogs. If you want to write a story about him, this is the planning page that you would use for that. And then, of course, the Groundhog Day sequence of events, you can write first, then, next, last, and finally. If you don't want to do all about groundhogs and you want to do the sequence of events with the craftivity, that's fine too. You can mix and match. These are some Seesaw activities that I found on Seesaw that were cute, that you can go directly to the link on Seesaw and you can save them to your library. There's a new story, a substitute groundhog story, and then there's a Groundhog Day activity that they can do. So I thought those were super cute that you can snag if you want. And then these are free TPT digital activities for Groundhog Day if you're virtual. And they're free. So there's one on shadows, and there's another word search one that I thought was really cute. So you can snag those too. All right, so here's Anne Rockwell. If you don't know who she is, here's a picture of her in the middle. And so she has written a lot of great stories that go along with our February themes. So 100 Days of School, 100 Schools Days. This is a super cute book that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. President's Day is very cute. Valentine's Day is very cute. Our stars, clouds, 4 seasons make a year, Big George, and Library Day. And she's got tons more. But I thought, wow, wouldn't it be really fun to do an Anne Rockwell author study? So the 2 books that I'm going to showcase for you today are the 100th School Days book and the Valentine's Day book. So I'm going to share with you what I created for those. And this is my author center that I have up right now in my classroom for Anne Rockwell. So what I did was I just copied the cover of the books from Google, and I just printed them out and then laminated them on pink construction paper and then put them on a bulletin board. This is my author center that I switch out every month. If you notice at the bottom of the easel, there's these little baskets down here, and that's where I put all the books that the kids can read. And then I put I put templates in there that they can write for their center pages for the author study. So the center page stays the same. I just switch out the books and I switch out the bulletin board. And you can make this into any kind of center that you wanted to. You could even have it on a shelf. You could have it on a little bookshelf on the wall. I've had baskets on the wall before where I put the books on the baskets and displayed them. You could do anything with this with an author study. But I think it's important that the kiddos can be exposed to different authors for different times of the year. So they're aware of how they illustrate and how they write and their different author's craft and author's purpose. So I created these two resources, and they're also $1 today. This one is the Valentine's Day book. So I found these cute little heart clip arts with children inside of them, and so I decided to use them for my craftivity. And so they can write all about Valentine's Day and write about who they're going to write a Valentine for, because in the story they create all these Valentines and then they mail them at the end to the class goes to the post office and they mail them to their friends, and it's so cute. So this one is for the Valentine book, and then this one here is for the 100 School Days book. So this book, if you're not familiar, is super cute. They have a jar in the classroom, and they put a penny in the jar every single day for 100 days. And then on each, like 10, 20, 30, 40, each day of counting by tens, a different child brings something to the class that is that many days. So like if on day 10, there's a child that might bring 10 toy cars. On day 20, there's a child that might bring 20 seashells. So it's different every time counting by tens. And so by the end of the book, they all have their little supplies that they brought for each day of the year of the counting by tens. And then they count all the pennies in their jar, and then they give the pennies to another school that had a hurricane come. And so it just teaches the kids how to, it's kind of like financial literacy as well. So teaching the kids how to save money for something special. And it's a really cute little story. So I decided to do a craftivity with the pennies in the jar. And they're going to write about what they could buy with their 100 pennies in their jar. So that's really cute. And that's also $1 today in my store as well. I just finished that one last night, so I'm really excited about it. These are the interactive notebooks that you can do for Valentine's Day and the 100 Days of School for Anne Rockwell. So this is a 100th chart that's in the 100 School Days resource that they can color by 5s or 10s or 2s. And then you've got the story elements, and you've got the connections, text to text, text to self, and text to world. These are the bottom ones are for Valentine's Day. They're going to color in the 10 frames for the numbers and write the number sentence that goes with it. They're going to do characterization about the characters. How has the character changed from beginning to end? Illustrate their picture. What was the problem and how was it solved? And then, of course, you've got some acrostic poems here that you could glue into your focus poem journal if you have one. So these are some seesaw activities you can click on for Valentine's Day and for President's Day for Anne Rockwell. You can snag those and put them in your library. And then the digital activities. This is a new resource that I just made a couple days ago about my Valentine box. I know some of you like to have a home project and have the kids make a Valentine box at home. So I created this as $1. And so you can click on that and look at it. And it also has different templates in there for Valentine's if you need a template for the kids to write on. I know that some of you may be in the Valentine Exchange group on Facebook that you guys are making Valentines and mailing to other kids across the United States. So this is a perfect resource that you can pair with that if you want. And then, of course, the President's Day freebie at the bottom. There's a lot of great notebooks, interactive notebooks in that one too. And it's free. All right, moving on to weather. So in our TEACS resource system, we are teaching weather in February. And it used to not be like that. It used to be in January, but now it's in February. So here's some great mentor texts that I like to read for weather. And there are a lot of Gail Gibbons ones. I will tell you, Gail Gibbons just pops up everywhere, and I use her all year long. But I'm really going to showcase her a lot in the March webinar. So she's got weather words. She's got the reasons for seasons. And then the Anne Rockwell book is the 4 Seasons Make a Year. And then Patricia Polacco has Thundercake. Love Thundercake. And then you've got Tommy DePaula, the Cloud book. You've got Shapes in the Sky. And then you've got What Will the Weather Be? And of course, the Scholastic Weather. There's also It Looked Like Spilt Milk. That's a really cute story about clouds. So these are great mentor texts that you can use for weather. This is my theme center that I usually do for weather. We used to teach weather in September. But then it's kind of been moved around a little bit. So this is whenever we had summertime in the classroom in September. Or August, actually. So this was the dress for the weather, and I have this little boy that they can dress in different clothes. And so, if I put him out for winter, they dress him for winter. And then I got all these different weather tools here that kids can look at. And then I've got a lot of books. I showcase a lot of books on my theme center. And my theme center basically is the skills and the standards that we have in our TEKs. I incorporate them into a center. They have puzzles, they have mentor texts they can read, they have interactive notebooks that they can do, they have science investigations they can do, so the possibilities are endless that you could do in your theme center. So it's really fun to switch them out with your theme. So this is my focus poetry journal, and so I do that once a week, and I have lots of great poems that I have in my weather unit too. So what they do is they glue the poem on the left side, and they highlight certain words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and it's a recursive review. And then on the right side, they can draw an illustrated picture of what their mental image was of the poem. And then when I had my daughter in first grade, about 4 years ago, she created, her mental image was of icicles, and so she drew her mental image on the right side, and then we highlighted all the rhyming words in the poem. So poems, having a focus poem journal is a really good way to incorporate poetry with your unit. So, and you could do poetry with any subject, really. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So if you click on the picture, it takes you straight to my resource, okay? And these are some anchor charts that I have used for weather that I created. I have a resource for, again, these are all in the resource for It's Raining Cats and Dogs. Let's see. Carly, you asked a question, where did I find the boy to dress? Oh, in the theme center? Oh, I think he's from Lakeshore. Yeah, he's from Lakeshore, I'm pretty sure. That's a great question. So I do my anchor charts with Post-it notes, and so the kids respond, and I make the anchor chart ahead of time, but I only do like the picture and the frame and the titles, and then they do the words on the anchor chart. And so they draw a picture on the Post-it note, or they write a word on the Post-it note, and then they come and post their facts on the anchor chart, and then that's part of our interactive shared reading that we do also. So these are just some examples of my anchor charts for weather. And then these are some really fun crafts that I've done for weather. So one thing that the kids really love is making these wind socks at the bottom here. So you see these lab coats. So I have these white lab coats that we wear for Fahrenheit Friday, and every Friday we do a special science investigation experiment, or we make something with STEM. If you're not familiar with STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm going to share with you some more STEM things in just a minute. But we make a wind sock when we measure the wind speed. And so we go out to our courtyard, and then we stand and we measure the wind and see which direction it's flowing. And we go to different parts of the school and see how the direction of the wind changes. And if the wind is going fast or if it's going slow, and, just fun stuff like that. So I like to incorporate, some fun hands-on activities that the kids can actually go outside for, because, it's always fun to go outside. And then I've made this pinwheel before. That's really fun, that they can also test the wind with the pinwheel. I will tell you, the pinwheel doesn't spin as well as the windsock. The windsock is a lot easier for them to see the wind speed than the pinwheel, but the pinwheel is still fun. And then I've made this cute little sun with the rainbow stripes at the bottom to hang in my classroom, and they look really cute in the classroom if you want to do that. We've made a project with different kinds of clouds. We read the Tommy DePaula cloud book, and then we've made different kinds of clouds. We talked about the nimbus, the stratus, the cirrus, and cumulus clouds. That was really fun with cotton balls. And then the meteorologist one, they wrote about what a meteorologist does, and they picked a girl or a boy as their picture, and then they glued that on and wrote about it. And then this one's really fun, the seasons of the apple tree. So this one tells the temperature of the different seasons with a thermometer, and then you show on the different parts of the tree, you show the different seasons. but you have all 4 seasons on the same tree. So this one is really fun, and that's also in the resource as well. So, okay. So those are just some fun craftivities that you can do for weather. And then these are some of my interactive notebooks that I've done for weather. You can do weather words. And again, what I do is I glue the anchor chart on the left side, which is the teacher side. And then the me side is their side where they do their interactive notebook part. So you could do this in 2 different days. But they can color the weather tools, they can label them, they can color the weather words, they can label them. And then I also do a fun science experiment with a tornado in a jar, which I'll show you in just a minute. But this is the template that I do for the tornado in a jar. This is the research book that I was telling you about earlier about weather. So what we do is in our TEKS, there's a standard that says that they have to record changes in the weather. And so we record what the temperature is, and I have a thermometer that's outside my window. We record the thermometer, the temperature, and then we record, is it rainy, is it cloudy, is it stormy, is it snowy? And then was there any rainfall, yes or no? What was the wind speed, windy or calm? What did I wear today? Did I wear a jacket? Did I wear a swimsuit? They always laugh about that. Did I wear a raincoat? Did I wear shorts and jeans, or jeans and shorts and a t-shirt, or jeans and t-shirt? So, and then we predict what the forecast will be for tomorrow. So there's a place on there they can predict. And this is also in the resource for It's Raining Cats and Dogs. And then this one at the bottom is my weather book. Now this one has a table of contents. It has a glossary. So this one is more informational writing that the kids like to do for the different kinds of weather. So they can write about the sunny weather, they can write about windy, they can write about rainy or stormy or snowy, and they write about the different kinds of weather, and then they make it another research book, and they're a meteorologist. And then it talks about the different kinds of weather tools here at the beginning. They can draw pictures of the weather tools and make a glossary at the back, and they can also draw pictures of the different type of weather and then write about them. So these 2 research books are really awesome. You can click on the pictures and it'll take you right to them. Okay? So these are some fun science investigations that I've done with weather. And so this is a tornado in a jar. So you take dish soap, and you take water and dish soap and a marble. And then you can put food coloring in it if you want to, and then you just swirl it around. You swirl it really, really fast, and then you can see the tornado inside. That's really awesome. They love it. And it's really easy to put together. This is the shadow investigation. And then they can draw a picture of their shadow on the sidewalk, and then they can draw pictures of them and see how the different shadows are different sizes and different shapes. And then this is the cloud in a cup. And again, these are all in the science resource for the weather. And then the cloud in the cup is really fun. You just have to use water and then shaving cream and then food coloring. And you put the shaving cream on top of the water, and then you put the food coloring on the top, and then you watch it rain. And they love it. It's really fun. All right, so these are some seesaw activities for weather that I thought were really fun. So this was a weather forecast one with temperature. And then this one also was what's the weather. So you can snag those and put them in your library for seesaw. And then these are free TPT digital activities for weather that I found that were really super cute. So what I'm going to do at the end of the webinar is I'm going to post this in the Facebook group, and then you guys can download the resource. It's free. It's a free webinar. And then there's a clickable links on here. So then you can, after you download it, then you can get to your resources that you want. Oh, yay, Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day, and I know the kids do too. So these are some fun stories that you can read for mentor text. We've got The Day It Rained Hearts. That's always a really fun one by Alicia Bond. We got Valentine's Day by Anne Rockwell. You've got Arthur's Valentine by Mark Brown. You've got Queen of Hearts by Mary Englebright. Happy Valentine's Day Mass by Laura Numeroff. The Biggest Valentine by Stephen Kroll. Valentine's Day Is, Gail Gibbons. The Valentine Bears by Eve Bunting. And the 12 Days of Valentines. I really like to incorporate some Valentine's counting books with math time, which is really fun. And then we do a fun math activity You can use these books. You can use math books at your teacher table, and you can read them a story, and then they can create the story problem on their math mat, which I'll share with you in a little bit. These are some fun Valentine crafts that you can do for Valentine's Day. I call these my Valentine Zoo. And so they can create a Valentine's Day animal. Excuse me. And I have a butterfly, a mouse, an owl, a dog, a fox, and some fish. And so these are a separate resource. If you click on the picture, it'll take you straight to it. And it's called My Valentine Zoo, Writing Craftivities. These are really fun to make on Valentine's Day. And they look super cute in your hallway whenever you want to have some kind of a writing craftivity for Valentine's Day. So these are really fun that you could do for that. And then this is a word work activity that I created for Valentine's Day. It's super easy, and this is also in the resource. If you click on, it's in the Queen of Hearts resource, and so it's called What's the Mystery Word? So you have these cards in the resource. You just cut them out and laminate them and put them on your pocket chart, and then the kids have to come up and create words with the word Valentine, but they don't know it's the word Valentine. But some of them will figure it out real quick. And so they try to make different words with Valentine, and then they make a list of their words, as you can see right here on the bottom. They make a list here of the words, and then they're going to spell Valentine on the very bottom with their words. They cut these little letters out, and they glue them on top of the mystery word at the bottom. So this is a really fun activity. And you could do a mystery word for any time of the year. You can do it for Thanksgiving. You can do it for Christmas. You can do it for Snowman, Valentine, St. Patrick's, anytime. These are some interactive notebooks that I have in the resource for a Queen of Hearts. And I also have a resource for the Day It Rained Hearts, too. So, hi, Carrie. It's good to see you. So I have the heart counting 10 frames here that they fill in the, hey Mom, how are you? Sorry, I'm getting behind on my comments here. I'm talking too fast. So anyway, I was going to say this heart counting 10 frame, they color in the 10 frames with the right number, and then they write their number sentence at the top. This is a fact family, template that they can use with hearts, and so they can write their fact family. This is the Queen of Hearts characterization. They have to write adjectives about the Queen of Hearts in the story, the character. And this is a fun experiment you can do with candy hearts, the conversation hearts. If you get some jars and put different liquids in them, water, juice, milk, vinegar, and oil, and you put the candy hearts in there, they have to predict which one's going to melt the fastest and which one will melt my heart. So that's really fun. And then, of course, your heart, roll, and subtract. You can use double dice for this one. I have an adding and a subtracting one as well. So these are some seesaw lessons that you can use for Valentine's Day. This one is a creative Valentine on seesaw. And then, of course, you have Arthur's Valentine here that they can do a retell. So you can snag those. And then there's some free digital TPT lessons on Valentine's Day here that I thought were really cute. So you can, this one down here is about math, and I really love, like I said, I love to incorporate the holidays with math as well. So that one is a really fun math activity. And then we've got President's Day. So, man, I don't know about you, but February, I'm tired. You know, we've got so much to cover in just such a little bit of time, and February is a short month. So, and I guess that's why I'm talking so fast, because I want to make sure I get everything done here. For mentor texts for presidents, you could read about, of course, Abe Lincoln and George Washington. You can do Grace for President, Teacher for President, Duck for President. Of course, Anne Rockwell has President's Day, which is super cute. You've got the White House. Brad Meltzer has these great books. I Am George Washington, I Am Abe Lincoln. President's Day is just so much fun that you can do voting and elections with. This is my President's Center, President Day Center for theme. So I just put up a bunch of posters about George Washington and Abe Lincoln, and then they have puzzles. They have trinkets from different parts of the United States, from New York and Washington, D.C. that they can look at. I've got dolls of George Washington and Abe Lincoln. I have lots of mentor texts they can look at. And again, I have a center template that they have to illustrate their favorite part of the center, and they have to write 2 facts about it. So it's just another way that they can enjoy their center and bring in your theme center with your science and social studies. And then this is my research book on American symbols. So this is also in the resource, We the People, my America thematic resource, if you want to win that. And then this is also separate also. So what they do is they write a table of contents here. So you're going to do a different symbol every day. And this is a great way to incorporate social studies and reading at the same time. So if, like I said, if your TEK for reading, your standard is nonfiction text features, and your standard for social studies is American symbols, you can tie the 2 together very easily and then do social studies during reading time. So we've got the American flag, the bald eagle, I've got Mount Rushmore, and they have to write what state the symbol is in. They have to write who made this symbol, and we learned about who made it and who thought of the idea. And then the fun fact number 1 and fun fact number 2. And this one also has a glossary at the back as well. All right, this is really fun that you can do for Grace and Teacher and Duck. And I know you guys love to read these 3 stories. So I do a whole day of just voting and elections. And I actually did this resource back in November on Election Day. But you can also do it for President's Day as well. So they have to vote on their favorite story. Who do they think is going to be the best president? Your teacher? Of course your teacher. Or Duck or Grace. And so it's funny because each year when I do this, different classes have different opinions. Some classes love Duck. They want him. And some classes actually want the teacher to be president. So it's really fun to see the outcome of the graph. And you can make a graph on your pocket chart. So I have these cards in the resource that you can laminate and cut out, and then they can vote. Or you can have them vote on their anchor chart, which is also in the resource. They have a voter's registration card they have to fill out, and this can be glued into their social studies interactive notebook. And then they have a voting ballot, so they can vote Duck, Grace, or Teacher. And this is just a great, fun way for them to understand how the voting system works. So you can make a little box that has a voting sign on it. You can make a 3D voting box with the trifold. I've seen a lot of different voting boxes or voting booths that you can make. That turns out really cute. I would search on Pinterest if you want to make one. So if you want to win this resource, you can also click on it if you don't win it, and it's also $1 today. So, oh, thanks, Paula. I'm glad that you used that in November. How fun. Yeah, it's really fun. The kids love it. So this is a new resource I just finished a couple weeks ago. My American Symbols Writing Craftivities. So I am definitely I'm gonna use some of this myself in my classroom with my kiddos. They're gonna choose an American symbol that is their favorite to research. So in this resource, they can choose the Liberty Bell, they can choose the Jefferson Memorial, Washington Memorial, White House, Abe Lincoln, George Washington, Statue of Liberty. There's also the World War II Memorial, Mount Rushmore, the Bald Eagle, the Liberty Bell. So there's lots of different American symbols they can pick and choose. So, and these will look really cute on your bulletin board outside. So they just do the research. I have a template for researching facts, and then I have a template for every single American symbol in the resource, plus the topper that goes at the top. So they're really cute. This is a free resource, y'all, on Google Drive. So if you, after a while, whenever you download their webinar, you can go and download this Pretty Pennies. This is really fun. So if you want to, if you're teaching about money during the time you teach presidents, it's a perfect combination. And so the Pretty Penny, what I did was I put some salt into a cup, and then the other cup I put some vinegar. So it says color how your penny looks. So first they have to color how the penny looks before it changes. And then it says color your pennies in the cup after you added the salt and the vinegar. So they're going to pour the penny and the salt into the vinegar, and they're going to watch what happens to the penny. And so there's a question here that says, how are the pennies the same? How are the pennies different? And why did the pennies change? So, and this is a good comparison to the Statue of Liberty, because the Statue of Liberty changed colors as well. And so the copper turned into like a bluish color, turquoise color. The salt and the vinegar made it change. And so it's really fun because it changes like really fast. And sometimes the penny will actually change to make it brighter, and it will make it really sparkly. And so that's really fun. Not all the pennies change, though, I have to tell you. Sometimes a group will say, my penny didn't change, but then they can look at another one that did. So I guess it just depends on how old the penny is. But anyway, so this is a freebie you guys can download from Google Drive after a while if you're interested in this experiment. It's really fun, and it's really easy. Okay, this is a STEAM activity that you can do with presidents. You can make a Lincoln log cabin. And so I've seen this done different ways. I've used the milk cartons from the cafeteria. So whenever I'm ready to do this activity, in the past I've had the custodian collect milk cartons for me, and then you can staple the tops, make sure you drip them out and then dry them out, and then staple the top of the milk carton, and then you can have the kids build a Lincoln log cabin with the pretzel sticks with their glue bottles, and then they build the cup and they put it on a paper plate. I use these Chinet paper plates so they're not so flimsy, and then they can create a sidewalk with the rocks, and then they can color the grass around it. But this is really fun. Just another way to have more hands-on STEM activities for the kids to make if you want to do a Lincoln log cabin. And this is also in that resource, the America thematic unit. So if you want that, that's in there. These are some seesaw lessons for presidents. So we've got Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and they're going to compare the two. And then it says, if I were president. And that's always fun. And then these are some free TPT digital activities for presidents as well. So you've got the habits here. These are fun. These are free, but they're fun interactive habits from Simply Skilled in Second, I believe. And then it says, I cannot tell a lie. And they're going to do true or false information about George Washington. Oh, and then it's time for a second winner. All right, so I'm going to look through the comments here. All right, how about Kristen Marie, you are my second winner. Congratulations, Kristen Marie. All right. So if you'll just message me after the webinar is over, and then you can choose one of those 4 resources that you want for free. Okay, so if you don't know, but February is also Black History Month. So there's a lot of great African American heroes that we can talk about. We can go back and talk about Martin Luther King again, or George Washington Carver is a great one. Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman. So there's a lot of great ones, and y'all, I couldn't fit all of them on here, but there's tons and tons of great stories you guys can read and cover for Black History Month. And then I have these craftivities, and I'm currently working on George Washington Carver, which I did not get a chance to finish yet, but I will work on that this week. And so I have Harriet Tubman, and I have Rosa Parks, and I have Martin Luther King. And so they can write a story about them and write facts about their life and what they did to help make America great. So there's what you could do for that. And then I also have these seesaw activities for Rosa Parks. There's a Rosa Parks timeline here. And then George Washington Carver here for seesaw, true or false information about him. And then I've got some free TPT digital activities for Black History Month here for Harriet Tubman and for Frederick Douglass as well. And they're free, and that's wonderful. And so these, I think, were for grades 2nd through 4th, I believe. So they might be a little bit hard for first grade, but second through fourth would be awesome. And then I also think this pairs with So You Want to Be President, but by the same author. And then Oh, the Things They Invented, all about great inventors. So these are some great books that you can read. And then these are some really fun anchor charts that are in the resource. I have 2 resources. I have one for Thomas Edison that I just finished last week, and then one for Ben Franklin. So these anchor charts are in the resource. There's 2 different ones. So one of the anchor charts doesn't have any of the post-it notes on it. So the kids can add them on there. You can put them on your smartboard or on your document camera. And then the other one has the post-it notes on there. So if you want to shrink it down and you want to have them glue it in their social studies notebook as an anchor chart, then you can do that too. So I have different craftivities for Thomas Edison and for Benjamin Franklin. I have biographies for both of them in the resource that tells their story, and then the kids can write about them. So again, if you just click on the picture, it'll take you straight to the resource. So these are some interactive notebooks that I have for Thomas Edison and for Ben Franklin. You can do sequence of events. You can do characterization. You can do story elements. Here's the facts page, the planning page, if they want to write about his life and write a biography. They can write 4 facts about Thomas Edison or 4 facts about Ben Franklin, and then write characterization adjectives about him. I always try to encourage my kids when they're writing adjectives to include those adjectives in the story. So if they say that he was brave, he was courageous, well, why don't you add that in your story and tell me more details about him? So I try to, this can also be a planning page for your kiddos, so they can get some more details, which is really helpful as well. And then here's some seesaw activities. I have Ben Franklin here at the top. And then I have, if you were an inventor, I would invent. And it would help people. And this is always fun for the kids to make up their own invention. So you can snag that. And then I have this famous Inventors book from TPT. It's free and it's digital. This is super cute. And I use this every year. And they write a story. There's a little page for every single inventor. I think that has the Wright brothers, Alexander Graham Bell. It's super cute. And then the biography report is in Spanish and English here. So you can snag that if you want. So if you are doing, for your math standard, if you're doing counting money and coins during this time, during February, I also have a resource called Money Madness. And so you can also download that resource. Is also $1 today too. So you can print this out from the resource. This is a math game that they roll and cover coins. And so it has a little cheat sheet right here of the dice. So if they roll a 1, they have to cover a penny. If they roll a 2, they cover a nickel, and so on and so on. If they roll a 5, they lose a turn. If they roll a 6, they have to roll again. So they play with a partner. Whoever covers all the coins first wins. So it's just for them to identify the coins and understand that they all look different and they have different values. Okay, so that's also in the resource. You can click on the picture. It'll take you straight there. These are some interactive notebooks that I have in the resource about dimes, quarters, pennies, and nickels. They have to color the front and the back of the coin. And then at the bottom, they have to color, for example, the dimes. They have to color the dimes that equal 80 cents. Or for the nickels, color the nickels that equal 35 cents. And they have to count them. And then they have to color them in. So those are some examples of that. And then I also have Bump. I showcased the Bump in my previous webinar for January. So if you don't know how to play Bump, they need some snap cubes and they need some dice. You can use double dice, which I love. But so each player has 10 snap cubes. They roll the dice, they add the 2 numbers together, and they take the snap cube and they land on the number. If they roll the same number again, the same sum, they stack the snap cube on top of each other. If they don't and their partner rolls that number, they can bump them off and they get their counter. So if you have anything stacked, you cannot get bumped off. The free space is 11s and 12s. So whoever uses their 10 cubes first wins. So this is a resource called Bump. It's Bump Time. So I have this for every month and holiday, and it's really fun. They love it. And it's an easy game that you can switch out every month. with different colored snap cubes to match for the holiday, and they love it. Okay, these are also math, addition and subtraction math mats. And so these are really fun that you can put in your centers, your math centers. All you need for this is you can use Valentine erasers. You know how Target has those really cute little erasers from every month and holiday? Well, you can get a package of erasers. Just make sure you tell your kids, do not break or write on my erasers. If you do, I will take them away and you cannot use them. And you have to use something boring, like beans. So, and they hate using those beans. So I'm really, really strict on my erasers. And so at the beginning of the year, I do activities at my teacher table so I can watch them, how they manipulate the erasers and how they take care of them. But anytime they abuse them, they lose them. So, and they're really fun and they're beautiful and they do a great job, but they have to take care of them because I tell them they have to last me for 10 years. Not really, but yes. So you can use Valentine erasers, you can use heart erasers, you can use Conversation heart candy as long as they don't eat them. You can use Hershey Kisses, but just don't unwrap them. You can use plastic lips, plastic hearts, or jewels. Jewels will be fun. So they get this mat, and I have an addition one and a subtraction one for every month and holiday. And I also have these cards that go with each mat. And on the cards, there are story problems. So they get with a partner and they read the story problems together, and they also decide if this is going to be a plus or minus addition subtraction problem. And then they have to create the problem on the mat with their counters, and then they write it at the bottom with their expo markers. So you could laminate these and put them in a clear plastic folder. You could put them in a sheet protector, whatever you want to do. But I would not have them write on them without laminating them first or protecting them. That way you can reuse them every year. So these are really fun. And then this is a resource called Holiday and Thematic Math Mats for Addition and Subtractions. You can click on the picture and it'll take you straight there. And if you are needing a newsletter template, these are my new editable newsletter templates. And so these are the ones that I have for February. And I tried to make sure that I have ones for every holiday in there. So you can just click on the picture. It'll take you straight there. So I've got one for Valentine's Day, and then President's Day, Groundhog Day, whatever you want is there. Okay. And so they're editable. So you can add your name at the top. You can add in whatever you want, your dates. What are you teaching for math, social studies, science, ELA, and spelling? So they're all different and they're really cute. And I use these all the time. So you're welcome to snag those if you want. And so I don't know if you know this, but I have given tons and tons of webinars in my Facebook group. And so if you're listening today, you probably have already heard a lot of my webinars. But if you haven't, then afterwards, when you download the resource here, then you can go back and listen to any of these webinars. You can download them, or you can go back to the Facebook group into the video section, and then you can go back and look at any of these webinars and listen to them over and over again if you need help with anything. So I've got one for Math Workshop, which is really awesome. Guided reading webinar and guided writing. Balanced literacy, how to fit it all in, which is really awesome. Then literacy centers, focus poetry, readers workshop, writer's workshop, Fahrenheit Friday, which is my science investigations. And then this is the one that I gave last at the beginning of the month for January. So if you want to check any of these out, then you're welcome to download them. And they're all free in my TPT store. If you need PD credit today, here is the certificate that I'm going to give you from my webinar. So just message me your name, how you want it on the certificate, and I will type it up, and then I will send it to you as a PDF, and then you can download it. Okay? So just let me know. Oh, then we're ready for a third winner. My third winner today is Sadie Blakeman. Sadie Blakeman. Good job, Sadie. Thanks for watching. So Sadie, you can pick any of those 4 resources. If you're not sure what they are, you can go back to the Facebook group. I posted the 4 this morning in a post, and then you can tell me which one that you would like. So that is a wrap, guys. And I apologize that if I talked really fast, but I didn't want to take up too much of your time today. But I am so grateful and so thankful that you guys joined me. I just love hearing where you're from, and I love hearing your questions. And please, if you ever have any questions, will you please post them to our group? I know some of you are starting to ask more questions in the group, and that's wonderful. I love it when you guys ask questions. There's a lot of great teachers in this group that are willing to help and make suggestions and help you guys out, especially if you're a first-year teacher. Good luck to those of you who are going back face-to-face this month. I know that some of you are still virtual, but if you're going back face-to-face, have a great time. Enjoy your kiddos. If you need any suggestions on what to do with your face-to-face group, let me know. And I've been to face-to-face since August. And we've so far we've done a great job and stayed healthy. So hopefully it'll stay that way. So thank you everyone for joining me. Like I said, don't forget to download this resource at the end. I'm going to post it in our group in just a little bit. And then you can click on any of the links. Those of you who won, again, were Vanessa and Kristen and Sadie. So you guys can think about which one of the resources that you would like, and then I'll message it to you. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I love you guys. Mwah. And I'll see you next time. Bye.